So many years ago, I had my first cousin from my mother is Cameroonian. So my first cousin from my Cameroonian side, who had grown up in our house like my brother. And he had finished school and all that, and he came to work in my company. And one sad day, he was so rude to me in the factory. It was unbelievable. And all my workers were there. So I left from the factory and went straight to my parents' house. And I went to my mom because she's her nephew. And I said to her, "Mommy, I've come to tell you to please do not beg me to take this guy back. This is what happened. I have fired him. And please, I am begging you, do not beg me to take him back because I know that's what you will do." So I left and went back home. I was married at this point. Of course, mothers. My mother left me for a while. My cousin was sitting around the house. He hadn't found a job for many months. And in her own way, acting out of love for her nephew, not thinking she was going to harm me in any way, thinking maybe now I would have gotten over being angry. She went to my mother-in-law and asked my mother-in-law to please ask me to take my cousin back. Oh, wow. Now, my mother-in-law had never really asked me for anything before. She was one of those good, really good mothers-in-law. And honestly, when she came to me and said, "I would like to ask you for a favor," I didn't see it coming. And then she said, "I'm pleading with you, please. I'd like you to take your cousin back." I said, "Mama, no. She said, "Please, that your mother asked me to please ask you because she knows you will not say no to me." I just started crying because I was really upset that my mom did that. I know she didn't mean any harm. She didn't see it as doing harm. She just felt that, okay, your cousin offended you. You would have gotten over it by now. Please take him back. I was in such a difficult situation. And because my mother-in-law had never asked me for anything before, and the way she asked me, and I love my mother-in-law so much, eventually I said yes to her, knowing fully well it would do harm to my respect with my staff. Painful for me, but I couldn't say no to my mother-in-law. So I said yes. But what I thought I was smart. I then did not send my cousin to work in the factory in Lagos. I sent him, I had a showroom in Kano then. I sent him to the showroom in Kano. The no you do not say when you should will cost you a bigger price later. So many months down the line, maybe a year or two, over 2 years, I think. One day, my aunt, who lives in Kano, called me and said, "I need you to come here now." I was in Lagos. I said, "Why?" She said one of your staff that works in your showroom in Kano came to her to say that she needs to report some things that are going on in the business in Kano. As it turned out, my cousin was scamming me big time. He had gotten into a crowd, made some unhealthy friends in Kano, was living the life, but at my expense. They were reporting no sales, but he was making sales and diverting money to live the life he was living with a crowd of people he had gotten involved with. And a lot of stuff was going on. So I remember my husband and I took a flight to Kano unannounced that day and went there. It was a sorry story, cutting the long story short. So on that day, one more time, I had to fire my cousin, but he had done a lot of damage to the business. Of course, my staff in the Lagos factories already knew that my cousin was in the Kano office because, we used to send goods from Lagos to the showroom in Kano for their sales. So there are people who go back and forth between the factory in Lagos and the showroom in Kano. And I was ashamed and embarrassed at the fact that I had to do that. I had to take him in. And then when he did what he did the second time, even made it worse. I could have saved myself all of that. If when my mother got my mother-in-law to ask me to take my cousin back, if I'd stood my ground and stuck to my no, which was the right answer at the moment. I don't know your own story. I'm sure many of you have many moments that you regret that you didn't say no to many things. Well, we've made the mistakes. But I want to encourage us to now train ourselves to say no. There's a way we can say that is kind, but even in the kindness of saying the no, we must be firm. Because don't forget that the person who is trying for you to move from no to yes is looking out for their own interest, not your interest. And your responsibility at the end of the day is you must be able to look out for you. Now, I'm not saying you should become selfish and self-centered. I'm saying when the chips are down, you must know what is right for you and what is wrong for you. And you must make the decision that serves your good. And that is important. It's in the little things, it's in the big things. It's with strangers, it's with family. It's with siblings, it's with our children. It's at work, it's in our community. Many of us get into trouble we shouldn't, simply because we do not learn how to say no when we should. I don't have all the answers, but I just want to call your attention to it. Think about you, think about your life, think about the different scenarios of your life. Think of the past experiences you've had. Prepare yourself for how to say no. Sometimes if you can't say it face to face, write. Some people find it easier to communicate things like that on paper. Write your thoughts and write your no kindly, respectfully, with some sensitivity for the other people. Show empathy, show compassion, but stand on your no. And there's sometimes that your no has to be forceful. It has to be a forceful no, because that's the only way that the message is clear and is received. And we must teach our children how to say no. Because peer pressure and getting caught in it comes from not being able to say no to their peers or their friends, to even that which they already know at that moment that is not good for them. A lesson we must learn so we can teach other people around us how to say no. And we must also learn how to accept no's, because that's another thing. It's two ways. We have to learn how to accept no in good faith, because sometimes what you're going to ask of people, they will not be able to do. And you must understand and respect their position. That's another side that we need to pay attention to. Well, I just thought we'd chat about this today. I hope you find it useful.